All right, good morning, YouTube. Back here with the F150 that we call Clifford. Got it up on the jack here on this side. I noticed on this side of my truck that I'm getting quite a bit of brake dust over here, and it is starting to squeak. What I really would like to do is get performance brakes all the way around. But you know, we're only a week before Christmas here, and we will be going out of town. I've got to get something on this truck, so today I'm just going to throw new front pads in, get me through the winter months, next few months here. We're in Maryland, so it's not terribly cold for terribly long, and then hopefully in the spring we'll be getting some performance parts on here. So we're going to be taking just the front wheels off, throwing some brake pads on. What we got here was the CarQuest Professional Platinum Truck and SUV Series pads that we'll be getting on this bad boy today. All right, guys, first thing we got to do, we got the fuel. These are 22 by 12.5-inch rims. First thing we got to do is get all these Allens out of here and pop these off. All right, guys, got these bad boys off. With these fuel rims, just wanted to show you that they've got a special nut on them that comes with the special adapter. Also want to mention over here that these wheels do have these wheel spacers in them. Okay, so you got to make sure when you're getting these back on that your wheel spacers stay in. Also wanted to mention that these are set up for many different trucks, so mine happen to be the ones right here. See how these are not split out, and these are split out. Mine happen to go, you know, the ones that are split out, that's their center point for those. So I'm gonna get in here and get these two bolts taken out, and I'll be back with you. All right, guys, I want to show you something that I think is a little weird, but this one here is the outside pad, and holy smokes, it's down to nothing. This is why I was having issues, but you can see how thin that is in there compared to the bottom. And then if you look at this was the inside pad, and these pins that are in here, they're moving. They're very lubed up on the top and bottom. So I'm not sure where this was getting bound up at, but I'm gonna make sure everything's lubed up as we get this all put back together. All right, got the 4 hardware pins out. These are the clamps that sit inside here on both sides, bottom and top. This is what holds the pad in place. These are pretty dirty. Maybe these pads were sticking to these, I don't know, but definitely gonna get this all cleaned down with brake cleaner all over, and make sure that we're not having any other issues moving forward. And then I will, after I get these pads on, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on what we got going on in this side here. We'll be back. All right, so I'm in here, and if you see that these front have two pistons in them. Okay, I'll put an old brake pad in, and I'm taking the C-clamp here and tightening. Sorry guys, I'm holding the camera and doing this at the same time. Give me a quick second here. All right, sorry, everything kind of fell out on me, but I'm tightening these pistons back in with this C-clamp in order to get these new pads on, because obviously these new pads are much thicker than you know, the old pads have been, especially that one that's really worn. So we've got to make room in here to get this done. So I did this. I've always been taught to open up your cap underneath the hood for the brake fluid to help relieve some of that pressure. So I'm going to get these all pushed in, and then I'm going to clean this caliper up with some brake cleaner, and we'll be back. You know, as I was doing this, I actually pulled these pins out that slide in and out to help the brakes, you know, move in and out, which is a big key. But you know, I'm glad I did, because when I pulled these out, if you can see right here on my workbench, looks like it was pretty runny in there, like maybe there's some water in there. So I wiped these down with this paper towel, and I'm just going to throw some other poly grease on there and get these all cleaned up, and you know, make sure that when I do put this all back together, it is 100% free in the brakes. All right, guys, so you can see that I've got this all lubed up on here. You don't want to get too much on there, otherwise it's going to shoot right outside of the rubber boot here. But these are going to go. I already put the bottom one back in down here, and as you can see, I did get a little much on there. But these are going to go. These got to go back right back in where they came from. Slide them on in, and you can see how. There we go. And this boot's got to come back over the lip here. So easiest way to do this is just give it a nice shove all the way in, and it seals right over the top. Now these have good movement in them, freshly lubricated. Just give them a little twist, work them in a little bit, but freshly lubricated. All right, so now we've got the new hardware. These are the same all the way around on the 2018, and I know the 2017 F150s because I've got a 2017 as well. But these just sit in here. A little stiff. There we go. Those are going to fit right in there. Top and bottom, front and back. So we're going to get these in, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so pins are in, front pads in. These just literally slide right in. What I also want to show you is that where these two pistons come out to press on the brakes here, you definitely want to make sure that we're getting some grease on the back of this pad. Where those pistons sit. So this comes with most of your brake pads, unless you got some really really low quality brake pads. Let me get some of the grease out of here. Okay, so here we've got some where these pistons ride. And you want to do this to make sure that they're able to move. Okay, it helps them from seizing up on there. All right, guys. So I ran into a funny little issue when I was going to install the new brake pads. All the new brake pads looked just like this one. They were the same for the front, or for the inside and the outside. The problem is that we actually needed this one here that has these little humps on it, because that's where the cylinder sits, and that's where so you get even pressure on there. And I'm going to show you on my old pads here. You can see where these pistons were sitting. So they have to be on this hump, because that piston's got to be able to push on that hump. Otherwise, you're going to get uneven pressure. And it's very funny because over at Advanced Auto where I was, and the pads they sent me that were all like this with no hump do show for a 2018. I knew exactly what the problem was because these pads are the exact same as they are on my 2017. You know, with this hump on it, and I do remember getting these prior with the hump on it for my 2017. So all their 2018s did show without humps. They did have a couple that did have humps in their system for the 2018s, but they had none of them available today. So I asked them to pull a set for 2017s, and they are identical to my 2018 pads. So I don't know 100% if the 2018s, early 2018s may have different pads than later model 2018s. I'm not really sure, but just be aware of what you've got inside your truck, and you may need these humps on there. Other thing I did want to show you, that the ones with the humps on them are labeled. See, this one says inner RH, right hand. This one does say inner LH, left hand. I'm not really sure what the difference is going to be, but I'm just going to make sure that I get the right on the right and the left on the left. All right, guys, back in. Outer. We'll see if we can get this one in here. Inner left, driver's side. Pads fit in there nice and smooth, and we should be able to get this caliper right back on. All right, y'all, I just wanted to show you exactly what I ended up with on this truck and what the problem was. So again, as I said earlier in the video, these have the dog ears on them, and that's where the pistons go. And the way that they had these pads in here was, this one was the driver outside and this one was the driver inside. And on the other side, on the passenger side, you had the passenger out and the passenger in. And you can see where these were actually hitting on the piston, and the piston was all the way up here. So on here, you weren't getting much power to this because you were losing power to the piston up here. Therefore, forcing these two together much harder. And that's where you got the oblong wear in this pad on this side. So not only that, but rest assured, I bought this used from a car dealership, which was a certified inspection, and they will be getting a call from me.